do you listen to any podcasts? Besides mine.
Besides yours.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you a true crime girly?
I haven't really gotten into true crime.
Okay.
I should.
Right. Well, you should have said that because I'm gonna send you like so many episodes now.
I'm down. I'm down.
Cool. Awesome. Because there are 3 I listen to. There's one called My Favorite Murder. They're both comedians.
Okay.
There's another called Morbid, and it's an autopsy tech and a hairstylist. And then the third one is Sinisterhood, and it's a psychologist and a lawyer.
Okay.
So 3 very different podcasts.
Different.
And sometimes they cover the same case, and you get like ample coverage.
I love it.
Yeah, and just like a ton of, but it's classy. They keep it classy.
Okay.
They're very respectful of the victims, which is cool, because when you hear like a true crime podcast that's comedy related, you think like we're making fun of dead people, which is not what's happening.
Yeah.
It's actually quite cool. Maybe we should start one. No, think about it. Yes, because then we can talk about the weapons used. We talk about like ballistics reports.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know. I think we should. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do
now everything's like turning like
It's turning, and there's a ton of murder in Utah. Yeah. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Like y'all got y'all. I live here now. Brought some art.
You're in this now.
There's Elizabeth Smart.
I think I've heard of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have the Elizabeth Smart Foundation. She was kidnapped. It's a crazy story that I.
Wait, was she the one like in the mountains?
Yes.
They
like took her camping.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and the cops even like pulled her over, and she was so. And it's a very controversial case because a lot of people say that she should have like spoken up faster, but she was in fear of her life, and she felt like if she had done that, then she wouldn't be here today. Yeah, and it's really sad because I think she was young. I want to say she was anywhere between 15 and like 17.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you can't expect a kid at that point to do that. So these people that come in and they're like, well, I would have done that. And it's like, okay, let's put it to the test. Let's kidnap that person. Right?
Yeah. No, like that's one of the most frustrating things. It's like, oh, I should have done it. Or most people don't do it this way. I was like, have you ever been in a traumatic situation like that?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Exactly. I want you to come back for an entertainment corner where we like watch videos, because the comments, I just did one for the first time. It was nerve-wracking because I'm of the impression that like no one really wants to hear what I have to say, even though like my sisters were like, that was very insightful. And I'm like, they're my older sisters, so they have no reason to lie to me about being smart. And I'll be like, okay, maybe I should share it with the public. But there are videos like that where like girls are getting attacked. The comment section is like, well, why didn't you do this? And it's like, if you've ever been in a situation where you've frozen, you know that like, and I still freeze to this day despite, my training, which,
yeah.
Anyway, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited, guys. This is Alyssa Seymour, and your ad is the Gunny Gal, right? Is that how you say it when people ask you like what your ad is? Do you say Gunny Gal, or how do you say
Gunny Gal? Kind of depends on what platform you're on.
I like it. I like it. What is it when you do, so like She Shield, 2 S's, what is that called? Alliteration, I think. Like S and S and then G and G. Isn't that called alliteration? Or am I using that correctly? I don't know either.
I'm going to say you're right.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I didn't pay attention in English. I was like, I already speak this language, so there's no need to really pay attention here. But I really like that. It's easy to remember. And I don't know when I realized you lived in town. How did I slide into your DM?
I don't know.
Did I? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Okay. I know we moved here.
Okay, wait, maybe it was at Utah.
Yes.
Somehow we like knew that each other was there, or somehow we saw each other there.
Yes.
And I think that's when I think that's when you told me that you lived in Utah.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yes, because I'd only been at that point. I'd only lived here like 2 months. So yes, I'm really glad this worked out. I have been able to be around some freaking cool people. I just texted my family. We went on a hike yesterday, or 2 days ago. How long ago was that?
What is today?
Tuesday?
2 days ago. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for doing math. Anyway, my brain was like, I don't want to do that. We went on a hike and I sent a photo to my family and they were like, who is this new friend? Because I'm like, I just have so many friends. And I was like, this is Alyssa. She's a tactical games competitor. She's got an awesome, YouTube channel. She shares her concealed carry journey. You do it all. And they were like, how are you finding all these really cool friends? I was like, man, it's the industry. It's so cool.
It is.
Awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's so many good people in the industry, and I love how small of a community is. Even though it's so large, it's also so small, so I love it.
Absolutely. So tell us how you got into it. I know we talked about it on the hiking trail as we were like panting up the mountain. We had a Can I just say I love it. I love how you were like, do you need to stop? And I'd be like, no, no, no. I mean, if you want to
Are you
stop.
sure?
Right.
Like, do you wanna stop?
I mean, I'm good. Do you need to? You look like you want to stop. Do you want to stop? And then we would stop, and I'd be like, thank God we stopped because I was freaking tired. It was a
Yeah.
pretty
It was
killer
good.
hike.
How did you feel afterwards, real quick?
I
Like, your body? Like, were you sore?
Yes. So
Okay.
Sunday I was gonna go to the gym and do like a full push day. I ended up just like doing some push-ups, which there's nothing quite like being in my living room in all black doing push-ups where I kind of feel like the ballerina. Like I kind of feel
Yeah.
like I'm
Oh, yeah.
prepping for that. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm doing this even without anyone watching me, and obviously I'm talking about it here. So like here's the proof. But other than that, my body was done. Like cleaning the apartment was tiring after the hike. I'm not gonna lie to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So what about you?
Yeah, I did a high rocks class. I guess it was yesterday, like, last night, and, yeah, it was rough. Like, we did, like, wall balls, sled pushes, like, my legs were done. I wasn't super sore, but when I was, like, doing the work, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted."
Yeah.
So,
It
it was
sounds like you did a little like Pilates class. High Rocks is wild. It's like
yeah.
it looks like CrossFit with a ton more cardio.
Yeah. In simple terms, yes,
Okay.
kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it was also a
that's
partner workout, and so I'm like, "Oh, I have to, like."
rest. Maybe.
Well, I have
Yeah.
to rest, but also, like, I have to push it because someone else is, like, waiting for me to be done, so,
Right.
yeah.
Yes. Was it your husband or was it
No, we just got paired up randomly in
okay.
class,
Oh,
so
nice. Ooh, what a
yeah,
challenge. Yeah. You're like you gotta like your partner, I guess.
yeah.
Otherwise it's probably really awkward. It's cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk about that because we've hinted at doing the tactical games in April, which I'm locked in if you're locked in. I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
yeah, okay, guys, we're locked in. So tell us, how did you get into the industry? What are you doing now? Because you really are doing it all. And I know that's a question that can be anxiety provoking because it's like, where do I even start?
yeah.
Just like follow your heart. Tell us about
Okay,
yourself. So,
so it all starts at me and my husband's first date.
I love it. It's fall.
Okay, no, but seriously, like, our first date was shooting, and my husband just bought his first gun. I don't even remember what it was. It was like a Ruger, like, AR-15 something, right? And he wanted to go out shooting. We started talking to each other, went on this date, shooting out in the middle of nowhere in Utah, which not a great idea. So,
I'm not judging you.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it,
Been there.
yeah. First time meeting him, so it's not like I like knew who he was before. Anyway, we go out shooting, and like we just like immediately clicked, and then ever since then, we just like it was like every other date we would go out shooting. And then he ended up getting a job in the industry. He does like marketing, and at that time he was working for a security company and on the marketing team. But anyway, got a job in the industry for some gun shops, and that's kind of where it all started because he just got like, I mean, working at a gun shop, you have or not experience, you have what's the word? You have access. That's the right word.
Ooh,
You have
okay.
access to like so many different guns, full autos, to like all the stuff, right? And so I would go out shooting with them all the time, and so I'd get experience all these different types of guns and a lot of experience with shooting and just in general. And I really liked it, and eventually got my concealed carry permit, started carrying, started really like training on that side. And then years down the road, my husband gets out of the industry just for a short amount of time, and I think it was when he stopped like pushing me is when I started to get into it.
Ooh.
I mean, I love
Okay.
him, but
Yes.
it was kind of like that pressure was off to be interested in it. And I eventually got into competition shooting, specifically tactical games. And that is when I like really fell in love with firearms. I'm like, this is so fun. And like, I love pushing myself and seeing like tangible, like differences and improvements in just overall handling skills. And yeah, so the rest is history pretty much. So,
That's beautiful. I did have a sneak peek to this story because, we obviously went hiking and, you gotta do something to remind yourself to breathe the whole time. And, anyway, and I love hearing how people got into the industry because it's
yeah.
always so
Yeah.
just,
Well,
it's
because like
realistic.
sorry to cut you off,
No, my God,
but
please cut me off.
like my parents were not into guns.
Yeah.
My husband's parents weren't into guns. I mean, they weren't like anti-gun, but they weren't like they didn't own a gun and they weren't like shooting every weekend or even like once a year, you know, like they were not, it was just not a thing, right? So yeah, I know that a lot of people get into it because of their parents or whatnot, or you know, in my case, it was my husband pretty much.
Right.
But yeah, so it's cool to see everybody's like different like journey and like their introduction to firearms. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Ooh, awesome. Before this episode started, I was like, hey man, just so you know, I didn't make any notes or really think about what we're going to talk about. And this is the best part of that, because if I had made notes, I would have been like, okay, we're going to jump into the tactical games. But actually, let's talk about training with your partner, because this is a really common DM question I get.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's hilarious. This isn't something I have a ton of experience with. I've always been the one to show my partner how to shoot as a female, which is it's not something I hear of commonly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which, to be fair, I think it's cool that I've dated people that have been, they've set their egos aside. It's cool. It says something for that. But in your case, it sounds like you kind of learned together. Maybe he was more interested at first. So what was that like for you? You said you started to get more interested when you stepped back. So what does that look like?
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting because I think the progress was kind of slow for me at the beginning because, as men want to do, like he would load my gun for me, like rack the slide and everything, you know, like being a gentleman, but at the same time, like I've got to learn on my own, you know?
Right.
So, I did learn a lot, but at the same time, it wasn't until like I said, I got into it myself and I was like learning how to do all these things by myself without someone like holding my hand.
Yeah.
And also I took classes from like instructors. And so I went to what's called Ohio Range Day. I don't know if you know.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So I went there and I taught with a lot of great instructors like Rick from Achilles Heel Tactical, Donovan with Point One Tactics, and like Philip with Modern Day Sniper. So lots of different instructors who are like very knowledgeable and not my husband. And also just being in that environment with all these other like great shooters. That was where I like really, like I said, fell in love with it. So just competition shooting, just pushing myself and yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For those listening, before I go on my little rant, which by the way, I think it's lovely the way you stated that and articulated it. Like Tanner's, is it cool for you to use his name on the
Yeah,
podcast?
yeah, you're good.
Solid. I can always bleep things out. So his heart's obviously in the right place. He's trying to help you, being a gentleman, like you said.
Yeah.
But it didn't help you learn. So for people listening that are maybe male listeners or female listeners trying to communicate with their partners, how would you say the right combination is to that? Should someone go to the range for the first time with their partner, but then maybe take a class, or should they start with a class? If in a perfect world you could set that standard, what would that be?
That's a really great question. I think it does come down to the individual because you might be more comfortable with your spouse or your partner, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you might be more comfortable with, or like, I guess, learning from someone else, right? So I think going with your spouse for the first time is not a bad thing. Just, I would give, I don't want to say, I guess maybe guidelines around that first time, because another thing is a lot of the time these I want to say specifically men, but it's not just men, but
Right.
many times it is the man who's going to bring the woman into it.
Yes.
But they'll give them like a 50 cal or like something crazy or full auto. They'll go rent
I'm
it.
sorry, back up. I actually just learned what a 50 cal was the other day.
Oh, really?
You're talking about the
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
People do that? People do that? That's insane.
So
Sorry. I knocked you right off your train of thought.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like for someone's first time, they shouldn't be shooting something that's like has a huge amount of recoil or something that's just that big, right? In my personal opinion. I mean, it might be fun, especially for certain people. Like that's fun. Like we're not going to say it's not fun. But for your first time and you're in like the introduction to firearms, it may not be the best way because like for someone who might be scared of firearms, that is not a great introduction. Like it might make them more scared, right? Because that's, yeah. Anyway.
Absolutely.
So
what caliber should they start with?
I mean, if possible, like even like suppressed 22 is probably like that's like baby steps, right? But I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Even just like suppress like 9mm PCC, I think is a great option. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and you said you took training with, quite frankly, instructors and their titles.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you like list them all out, it's like, are you making these up? Like,
Yeah.
but no,
Or it's
I
like,
know what you're talking about. I
yeah.
recognized a few of them actually. How did you decide who you were going to train with first? I think, looking back, my first formal firearms training class, which it's like 30% actual firearms training, was ShiftWorks ECQC, and it pushed me to do some solo training, and then I got some more instruction from USPSA competition instructors, and that was really cool for me. But I remember feeling like it was a shot in the dark to choose my first class. So for someone listening that maybe doesn't know how to take that first step, what should they look for?
Yeah, I think a lot of people at first they want to look for like military or LEO experience, and I don't necessarily think that's like an end all be all.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters, but also at the same time it doesn't necessarily matter. Like there's so many like competition shooters who are great and they don't have like military or LEO experience, for example. So for me personally, looking at someone who just looking at their accolades. So for example, it could be like USPSA shooting. Like, are they a good shooter? Like, are they in I mean, I wouldn't choose like someone who's in like D class or maybe even C class,
Right.
you know, especially depending on how long they've been doing it. But just competition, like have they I don't know what the word is, but
You're saying selecting an instructor. This is
yeah, selecting an instructor, like just seeing their experience, I guess. And it doesn't have to be competition shooting and it doesn't have to be like military experience or LEO experience. But also like reviews from other people in the industry or people have taken their classes. That's a big one too. But even if you found a good instructor, like taking classes from different instructors is also great. So it is a little hard to sometimes find someone who is a great instructor, but or at least be able to like vet them without taking a class. But that's where I think the reviews and even seeing how they do in like competition and stuff. But also, I will say, even if they're like a grandmaster in USPSA, doesn't mean they're a great teacher. So there's lots of things to consider there.
Absolutely.
Hopefully that made sense.
That does make
Sorry, I
sense.
kind of was like,
oh no,
jumping around.
It's like 40 things I want to go towards now that you've said all that. Those are excellent points. And when you're as experienced as you are now, I hope you give yourself grace through this interview, because it does take time to think back to what it was like to be a beginner. And I think especially, I don't want to tease it too much, but we talked about you getting into instruction, and it is like a muscle you have to train to like step back and do that. So that's what we're going to be doing here today on the podcast a little bit. So yeah, it absolutely made sense. Something I really like that I learned from Lena is listening to the way instructors articulate their advice and whether or not they use extreme language. And a good example of that is, this is the only way to do this.
Yeah,
This
I like
is
that.
the only way to do this. Lena tells her students to make her to prove to themselves that what she's saying is correct, to put what she's saying to work and prove her right, essentially, or try to prove her wrong. And I really like that. So if you're kind of sitting back and you're like, well, how can I vet an instructor because I've never taken a class? Think and not think, sorry, hang on, just gonna go. Listen to the way that they're articulating their advice. Ask them questions, see how they respond when they don't know the answer. Like, are they going to go look for the answer? I think there's some just like basic things you could apply to any discipline. It doesn't just have to be firearms instruction. And like trusting your gut, like the vibes of the class. Is it an ego, like, swinging contest? Or is it an opportunity for them to connect with you as a shooter and for you to grow? So yeah, I totally just leaked it. Is this something you're telling the public, that you're getting into instruction? Because you could totally omit that. Okay, baller.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about that? You don't have to.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
sure.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I really I've thought about getting into and like training people on firearms for a long time, and I've even been alongside like other instructors, and I'm like, okay, I just need to do it because I feel like I have a lot to offer, and I've seen so many other instructors and just people out there, and I just feel like I have something to bring. And so I just want to get into it. I just want to jump into it. So starting in 2026, I'm going to start taking classes. I just need to get certified because the ranges I'm going to be teaching at, they require that. So yeah, I'm really excited.
That is really exciting. No, the reason I was making the face when I was like, yeah, girl, you definitely do. We're like not supposed to be talking over each other with these mics, and I'm like having to hold my tongue so hard. She and Tanner were nice enough to help me set up the audio before this because, I'm learning as I go to have in-person guest speakers. So I'm like, don't talk yet. But no, that is so freaking exciting. And I think another good thing about taking a class like NRA and USCCA, any one of those, like she said, ranges do tend to require one of those. If you get firearms instruction insurance, sometimes they require that you have one of those certs too. Um, with that said, one of the good things about them is to see what the standard is out there,
Yeah.
which kind of terrifying. I'm so sorry. It's my NRA certification course, which has my NRA cert has lapsed by now. I'll probably get it just to have it at some point, but the range I'm at has fully vetted me and the classes instructors I've trained from. So, and they care more about that than like that standard, but
Yeah.
it's very classic that that's required. It's good to see what other people are getting done. And the way that I like to look at it is like my middle sister is really interested in firearms right now. She's got some momentum, and I always tell her before you take a class, look up the instructor, see if they're a competitor. I really like that you brought that up, not just to say that all competitors will be good teachers, because that's like saying, like everyone's spoken to an expert in some area and like they've tried to explain something and like dumb it down essentially on the foundational level, and it's a skill you have to train like anything else. So it is cool to see the standard and the lack thereof. Craig Douglas says really beautifully, and I'm definitely not quoting this verbatim, sorry Craig. He says to call this an industry is say we have standards and we don't have a ton of them. So setting your own is a really wonderful thing to do because you get to lead other people, and like um hopefully you'll get newbies someday that come and shadow you to see what your standard is so they can raise their bar and meet you there. So that's going to be super freaking exciting. I'm kind of just getting back to instruction in town, and I had my first student the other day. For the longest time, in walks this like 70-year-old man, and I was like, damn it, because I'm just good to give context. I taught an older gentleman once, and he would not listen to me. I don't think he respected me as an individual. I don't think I need to say why.
Yeah.
And especially when he told me he was a physician and I mentioned I dropped out of med school, we did not bond over that, I will say. He was like, wow, this is what you're doing. And I was like, man, I do so much more than this, but I don't owe that to you. Anyway, it was an odd class, but this guy couldn't have been kinder. Listened, was so receptive, and I had some like nervous tics in the beginning of the class. So I like, jumbled my words and everything, and he took everything in stride and he laughed with me, and it was really lovely, and it really brought that spark back because for someone like you who's grown a huge channel on YouTube.
I wouldn't say huge, but thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm sitting here like with my almost 9,000 followers on YouTube, like looking up at you, and I'm like, you do done very well. You've done very well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I think it's really cool that you're going to be able to now connect with people. I think it's really cool that you're now going to get to connect with people one-on-one and in group settings with your classes. In addition to the channel, is that something that you're looking forward to? Like you're kind of on in this like almost untouchable place with YouTube. You're in front of the camera. Maybe you get to interact in comments, but is instructing something that you feel will bring you closer to your audience?
Yes. We've been doing a few like lives on YouTube, and those are fun because I do get to like connect with people. They can ask questions like in real time, and it's just sometimes I wouldn't say it's depressing, but sometimes I just hate talking to a camera, right? So it's gonna be nice to be in person, talking to people, interacting with them, and yeah, I'm just really excited.
Absolutely. I totally get that. I asked you on the hike Saturday 2 days ago, whatever. We went on a hike. Okay, I was just kidding. I asked you, I was like, hey man, do you ever just get like camera fatigue, like get a little tired of like talking to this like circle? And it was very validating to hear that you go through that, and you do things on a higher production level than I do. And
Tanner.
Well, right, but it's the same concept of like you don't get to kind of like that reinforcement, that positive reinforcement isn't as direct as it is in a classroom setting where you can see like the micro expression of a student change when you make them feel more comfortable. So it is, yeah, it can be discouraging, disheartening. I don't know what the word is. Like depressing is,
Yeah.
that's a great word for it. Sometimes I feel like I'm itching and I need to just like go do something. And the hype was so healing for that because I just needed to like touch dirt.
Yeah.
Yes, there was grass. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not winter yet. But okay, awesome. How exciting. So, what is this is just like a question that came to mind. I know we're pivoting a bit here. And if you have more you want to say to your instructional journey, feel free to just um I'm curious, what has been the most challenging part of content creation for you?
Um, I think the most challenging thing is, and I'm still kind of working or I guess working through it, but is doing things not for the money, but also since I do want to do this full time and be in the industry full time, I got to make money, right? So that's been the most challenging thing. It's just trying to balance that. I'm not doing it for the money and I'm still being honest with what I'm doing and genuine, um, but also making a living and supporting my family. So that's been the biggest thing.
Absolutely. What's something that you kind of ask yourself when you're taking on a project or that keeps you going when you have to find that balance, if you have it?
Um, I think just for me, it's just separating, like putting like money aside. Okay, I will say, like, I don't get paid for like any reviews. We said that, me and Tanner. When I say we, it's probably me and Tanner.
Okay, noted.
Because it very much is like a we thing. Right. But anyway, so me and Tanner from the very beginning, we said we're not gonna get paid for reviews. We can get paid for ads, and we can plug things in it, but we'll also be honest when we are getting paid. But we're not gonna be paid to do a review. We have gotten like free product, so that's free guns and whatnot, but we're never gonna get paid for a review. And I think just for me, just separating that, it's like honestly, I just got to be honest, and just be genuine is all I'm like thinking about. So, and like, if I wouldn't recommend something to my family members, then I'm not going to recommend it to my followers and subscribers. So,
Yeah, that's called a litmus test, right? When you have something that keeps you kind of, when something decreases like cognitive dissonance with like something you morally believe in and the way you act, right? Is that a litmus test?
I think that's right.
I didn't want that to be right, but this is my disclaimer so that people don't start just repeating things, and then it's not what it means. So anyway, I'm gonna say it confidently. Ready? Okay. It's gonna sound okay. What a wonderful litmus test. That's just great of you. That's freaking awesome. Because a comment I get sometimes, which some people are just unhinged and they assume, and it's all good. It's interaction at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Is like, oh man, what's that just one really gritty way people say it? It's like, oh God, it's something like basically you're doing this for the money. Like,
do they call you a shill? Is that the word you're thinking of?
It's something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, where it's like, man, like, and I think I like the way, from what I've seen, you guys state whether or not things have been sent to you, and then you give your honest opinions, and then your ads, any sponsors are very directly stated in your videos from what I've seen. So I really like that. I think that gives your channel a lot of, oh my God, words are so hard today. Grounds you guys morally? What am I trying to say?
Yeah.
It's a great thing that you do that. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And right now you're doing a competition shooting series. You want to talk about that?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, this has been, I think, the most fun thing I've done on YouTube. Ooh. Because honestly, we just go out to even just a local match. It's we haven't done any like major matches, but we'll just go out to a local like USPSA match, for example, and just document like my journey and each stage and show each stage from beginning to end, no cuts. And then immediately after, I'll talk about, what went wrong there, what could I have done better. And it's just really fun to like show that journey. And even just like looking back, I think we have 5 episodes at the moment, something like that. I think we're working on editing the 6th one. But even just going back to the very first one, even though I've only had 5 or 6, I feel like there's a huge difference in my performance from the beginning to where I'm at now. And I'm just so excited to like keep going.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so fun.
Do you
So,
have like an end in sight, or is it just going to be when you feel ready to wrap it?
so there's a couple parts to that because I'm mainly focusing on USPSA and I really want to get. I mean, I would love to get to Grandmaster, as anyone I'm sure would, right? Right now I'm not officially classified, so I'm in like the high C, low B range right now for classification, and I'd love to get up to A master maybe in the next. Dude,
Tell me.
I can get there. Like I know I can get there.
I'll say-
I can. I know I can. It's just it's gonna take a lot of time and work, but I'm here for it. I'm so ready. But anyway, so I'd love to just honestly just keep improving, and like I said, eventually get to Grandmaster would be amazing.
Yes.
But as long as I'm just happy with my performance each time, I'm good. But besides that, I'll be doing other. I want to get into like long range shooting. I'm still doing like tactical games, so all these things. I just want to keep getting better, and I just want to expand and like expand my skill set, and yeah, it's so fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, you can absolutely do that. I was talking to someone, and I've said this probably on like 5 episodes at this point. I think it was Matt Little. It's been a long time, but season 1 guest speaker said that like A class is like the black belt of shooting. Like if you have your A class, classification, a little redundant there, but if you have that, it's equivalent to getting your black belt in the martial arts. Like you've put in dedicated time. Um, I think it's my goal currently, and I think that's because like goals have to be measurable and everything. But to me, I'm like anything past A like overwhelms me to the point where I'm like I just have to focus on A first, and then I think I'm obviously not going to be able to stop once I get to A. There's my manifestation.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a really beautiful thing that you're already like, I'm going to make GM. Like, I want to do that. So hell yeah, I think you should absolutely do that. I'm almost like a little jelly that that's not like already on my mental horizon. But, wait, okay, hold on, back up. How long have you been doing USPSA?
Only we started this summer, so
No,
a few months.
not allowed. Not allowed, dude. Not a freaking loud, because the last match we were at, you were like 10 spots ahead of me, like higher than me. That's freaking amazing. Dude, you're like, yeah, because I think it was the one where you came and watched me shoot my classifier, which didn't make me nervous at all.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, no.
We were done, and so I came over. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're about to go. Like, I didn't want to like bother you.
Jokes 100%. So no, I actually texted Lena and I was like, I don't know what happened, but like people were watching me, and I think it's why I did actually kind of well. It was the first time.
Oh, okay, wait, it helped you.
It helped me.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
I mean, you
trust me,
shot well.
surprised you.
So.
Thank you. I think I shot it within like the B class classification percentages, whatever, because I totally understand how all that works really well. Obviously, man, I've only been in it for like 2 years, so obviously I get everything that goes into it. No, but what I was gonna say is, oh my gosh, what this summer? Wait, I'm sorry, 2024? No, we're in 2025. 2025? 5?
Yes, 2025. Yeah.
That's
So
allowed.
it's been.
This is insane. Okay.
I think it was June or July we did our first one.
Oh
so
my god,
a few months.
dude! I thought you'd been competing in USPSA forever.
Nope.
That's insane. This is crazy. I'm like sweating. This is awesome. Sorry. No, that's freaking insane. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so tell me this. What was your transition like? Because you did TAC games first.
Mm-hmm.
So correct me if I'm wrong, as someone who is a 100% poser, which I told you this the other day, I technically drove to Lawrence, and then the
You were gonna do the thing.
I was gonna do the thing,
and the
hurricane.
forces of nature.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, she's not joking. There's an actual hurricane that canceled the TAC games, and we have talked about doing it in April. So I've been trying to understand your journey a bit. I don't know where I was going with that, but I would love to know, first of all, tell us about your TAC games journey. And then I want to know how that was like transitioning from that to USPSA, because mine's kind of the other way. And I feel like it's much harder to go from TAC games to USPSA. There's like, you're learning like so many more elements of the sport moving this way, I think, but I've also not truly ever done TAC games. So
Yeah, I think it depends, because there's a lot of elements in both of like tactical games and USPSA. So I think it depends.
Okay.
But so fitness was always like, I always enjoyed it and I always loved it. Like I got my bachelor's in exercise science. So I've loved fitness. And then I was also into shooting, and it was, I don't remember when tactical games started, but it was like their first year they were open, or the first year they started, people were automatically telling me, hey, you should go do this. Like, you're into fitness, you're into firearms, like, go do this and combine them because you already love them. And it took me a couple years of people saying that to actually go and do it. And then when I finally did it, I'm like, I'm hooked. This is so fun. So freaking fun. Yeah, I made it like a New Year's goal one year. I guess that was 2023, 2022.
I love it.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think it was 2023. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I made it like a New Year's goal. I signed up, and from then on to my first event, I had, I think, like 4 or 5 months, and I was like dry firing every day and like going all in. And yeah, tactical games is so different because it really does focus on the fitness a lot. Like, it's a big component. Even if you're a really great shooter, if your fitness isn't there, then you're not going to do well.
Baller.
Especially when your heart rate's high. You're going to do amazing. But no, I'm
I'm so excited. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Keep going.
But I mean, there's also different divisions, so you have to factor that into. And but yeah, when you get to like the firing line and your heart rate is high, it makes you feel like a bad shooter, because
Right.
firing or like shooting a gun just standing is so different than shooting a gun through a port with your heart rate elevated. So, but yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
I also love, I was smiling earlier because I was like, New Year's resolutions. People are like, I'm going to eat less carbs. And you're like, I'm going to do the tactical games. That's freaking baller. So, we started the conversation out today with the story of you and Tanner starting at the range together. What's the timeline between that and then taking your classes, jumping into TAC games, and then USPSA this summer, you guys? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, so I got into firearms. We went on our first date in August of 2018.
Okay.
And then I think I got my concealed carry permit in like 2019, maybe summer of 2019, around there. And then I didn't take a class until I think it was about, okay, so actually, when I went to Ohio Range Day the first time, I was a cameraman and Tanner was the shooter because I was too nervous to do it. And that was in 2020.
Yeah.
Fast forward the next year, I'm the one who's shooting. So 2021 is really when I took like my first like official class. And then we went again in 2022. And then I did tactical games 2023 and had a baby in 2024. And now we're in 2025.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's pretty much like the basic timeline.
Okay.
Everything.
Wonderful. So. No, thank you for sharing that. It puts things into context. Yeah. I think I've already asked you this, so sorry. But tell me again, I think I recall you like you had a baby and then bam, you were doing another TAC games, right? So like what was that journey like going from like what was it like postpartum? That's an all-encompassing word for after birth, right? Like after okay.
Some people say it's like only 6 weeks, but
okay,
that's I think technical. I think it's very much an encompassing word.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was that like going from competing to becoming a mother and then competing again?
Yeah, so I competed at nationals, tactical games nationals in 2024, and that's when hold on, 2023.
Okay,
sorry, 2023.
It literally all blend.
Yeah,
You're good.
I know. In 2023, and that was then thinking October or November, and that's when I announced I was pregnant. I was 3 months pregnant at nationals. Yeah.
Okay, you've told me this, but I honestly holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so cool.
And that was like the last time.
Sorry, that's just so cool. Okay.
I think the most nerve-wracking thing was like doing the obstacle course at nationals, because like I know it's so stupid, but like you had to climb up high, and I'm like, I don't want to fall because anyway.
Did you say that's stupid?
Well,
no, me letting the stink bug that I didn't grab last night just roam free in my apartment because I'm terrified of it is stupid. But that is a reasonable fear. That's like, yes. Yeah.
That was like the only thing I was afraid of. Like, I just don't want to fall on this like really high obstacle course.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, got through it. We're fine.
Amazing. Yes. He's adorable. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anyway, and I mean, I felt pretty good overall. I felt a little like I didn't have as much energy, and I wasn't able to train like the same leading up to it. But honestly, like I didn't really have that many like major symptoms. So it was pretty good leading up to it. I was eating like crap because it was hard for me to like get food down. So I was like eating anything, like pizza rolls, because that's like I couldn't stand anything else.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, and so I had my baby in May of 2024, and then 3 months later, I did tactical games in Utah,
Wow.
or the regional event, and yeah, 3 months postpartum. It was yeah.
Would you say it mentally supported you and that you had something to kind of work towards after that, or
Yeah, it was okay. So it was very emotional because
yeah.
at that time, like my fitness was nowhere near like where I used to be, even though I felt so much better than I did like even the week before. Like every week I was just feeling so much better, but still I had a long ways to go to like even get to where I was. And so that was very hard on me like emotionally. In my first tactical games event, I competed in like the middle division, so tactical division,
Okay.
and I got third on in my very first event. It was only a regional, so keep that in mind. But
Okay.
but since that was my first event, I had high expectations for myself. And so coming back to another regional event in Utah, I end up getting fourth. So not bad, but also like my shooting is what kind of like pulled me up there, cuz I pretty much finished like last in everything. Um but it was okay, so let me explain this, because for tactical games, most of the events they time you, and then if you miss your target, then you add time onto your total time.
Okay.
So a time penalty. So I basically finished last in like pretty much every event, but it was my shooting that got me up into like the middle of the pack. So I was happy about that, but also I'm like, my fitness is so bad right now. But yeah.
Understandably, which like I'm not even gonna pretend to understand. I've yet to shoot attack games. I've yet to have a baby, so I can't speak on it. But I think it's lovely that you push yourself to do that, and like um yeah, I don't know. I want to I want to say, that's something I would hope that I will do and want, but I just yeah, I can't fathom it. My oldest sister just had a baby, and her second, and this time around I've been a little bit more involved in like what went into that process, and so I've an immense amount of respect for you. That's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
So tell me something. Oh, and first of all, I love all the context you're giving, because this TAC games stuff, like the classifications and the scoring, that's all still very new to me. So feel free to just like explain, for like everybody who doesn't understand, including me. So we are currently in October, and we're looking at doing a team event in April. So if I sat down and we got a piece of paper out and I was like, okay, let's make a map to TAC games, like what we need to do, what would you say we start with? And this is for anyone listening that's like, well, I don't even know where I would start. Like, what would you say?
So I would say, first off, don't start with trying to combine the two things,
Okay.
especially at the beginning. And there's multiple reasons for that, but I mean, you're a shooter, so like you're confident on that end. So I don't have any like issue, or what's the word? I don't have any. What am I trying to say?
Doubt?
Yeah. I don't have any doubt that you're gonna exceed on that side. Wow, my gosh, words.
No, it's okay. It's like it's we're speaking into mics. It's like you're bound to
Anyway, but I think on the shooting side specifically for you, I'd say probably like positional shooting would be something you might need to work on. Especially maybe for rifle. I'm not sure how much experience you have with like rifle, but okay.
Very little.
You're good at shotgun. You're doing a lot of that. So I mean,
Cube. Is there shotgun in TAC games?
No.
Right, I didn't think so. Sorry.
But,
I was really
I mean-
thinking you would say like, yes, now there is. You missed it, Sophia, but there is shotgun now in TAC games.
But anyway, so like shooting just like through ports and things like that. Especially when your heart rate is high.
Yeah.
So on the fitness side, I'd say that's probably what you might need to just like just simple as like dry fire, I think.
Okay.
And then on the fitness side, there's a lot of like people like to oh my gosh.
It's okay. Here we go. We're pulling it in. It's okay. We're both. Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I couldn't even think of the word. Like we're both messing up. I couldn't think about that.
my brain is going fast at this
No,
point.
it's okay. I totally feel that. I'm also like, I do that thing a lot where I fake you out. I look like I'm about to say something, so I can tell you're trying to read me, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing over here. So like, anyway,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
Anyway, so people like to compare tactical games to like CrossFit with guns. And I think that's accurate, but at the same time, tactical games doesn't have like the skill-based movements that CrossFit has. So I think I mentioned this to you. It's like they don't have like handstand walks or even like muscle ups or anything anything crazy like that. It's a lot more of like strongman work or like odd object carries, farmer carries, even just like cardio based like machine work, rowing, skiing, biking, things like that. A lot of sandbags. So it's very different in that sense, but at the same time, like the metabolic conditioning, it's similar on that side when it comes to CrossFit and tactical games. So there's a lot of like interval work because a lot of the time you're doing a set amount of work, whether that's like 20 sandbags over the bar or something like that, right? And then you go and shoot. So you're basically like, it's a work and then a rest, work, rest. So it's like interval style in some sense. So yeah.
Good to know. Video idea. Um, what if, I know you said don't combine them in the beginning, but okay, I have to tell you this. So, and I kind of do this with Lena and Jay Lease. It's going to make a sense in a moment. I've always thought that in major competitions, okay, so think sprinting at the Olympics, okay, there should be a normal person, I will volunteer, running alongside the athletes to give context because you know what I mean? Like when you're just watching it on TV, you know they're moving fast. You can see like the muscles working. You can obviously see their physique. You can see that, you know, they have stuff that like we don't have sometimes, you know, those sprinters. So I told Jay Lisa and Lena this, and they of course laughed because they think I'm hilarious. And then I was like, but that's basically what I'm doing with shotgun. Like I'm coming up on you, Lena. I think at the last shotgun competition, she was the only woman in the 90 percentile at all. I want to say 90th percentile at all. I want to say she had like a 96, 98 or something. She's the leader for sure. And then like the closest person to her, I think, is in the 70s behind her. So she's like, oh my gosh, so far ahead. I'm chilling back in like the mid 50s, you know what I mean? So it's funny, like I've yet to post it because I just honestly I've just yet to do it. This is a good reminder. I want to put our runs side by side because it's just so different. Like just the smoothness. So my point is we should totally do a video or like you don't tell me at all, but like you choose the physical, the workout course and the shooting course. And I just show up and we just because I think there's an appreciation for it. You know what I hate to hear, and this is obviously from people who haven't done it. They love to say like the tactical games isn't like applicable to everyday life. Just like those same people that hop on the horse of like competition shooting isn't applicable. It's like, bro, we never said it was. Like we're just working skills here. Like we're just getting better as people. Like back up, you know. Come hang out, you know, come hang. So I think it would be really cool to like show what like a very ordinary person who's done CrossFit leisurely, like I've never really stuck to it to the point where I still get really nervous when I jump into a CrossFit class, which is exactly why I want to do it more. But
Come do it with me.
dude, hell yeah. That's another thing we could do. Yes. But I would love to just like we should just do it. And what I'm thinking back to, I just hit my mic. I don't know if that was really loud, so sorry. But I'm thinking back to there's this gentleman that was in town where I was working at the time when I decided I wanted to do TAC games. Mr. Doherty, very, very kind man. And he was in the senior division, which I forget what that one's called. It might just be senior.
Like 40 plus, 50 plus,
Is it
or
master?
masters. Yes, that's right.
Okay, yeah, I can't believe I remember that. Jesus. I mean, obviously I remember that. Anyway, so he was like, "Hey, like let's do some of the weirdest movements you might find at the TAC games." And I was like, "Perfect, let's go." One of them was jumping over the bar, literally just like getting yourself over it. And he showed me like the 3 ways I could do it, and I could not stop laughing. It was so difficult. I was like, and then there's a moment where like you're suspended. You're kind of just like your body's just kind of like balancing on this bar, and you're far enough where like if you don't get your feet under you, you'll just like eat shit. And I couldn't help. I remember Lena was busy, but I FaceTimed her because I couldn't stop laughing. I just wanted to see her like I wanted to see her reaction to me like failing over this thing. But there are some movements where like you look at it and you're like, yeah, I can get myself over that. But can you do it with a plate carrier? and a holster and mag carriers and, pistol mag carriers, rifle mag carriers. You don't do it with the rifle on. You would,
No, they
okay,
used to, but not anymore. No.
right, like safety probably.
Yeah.
Very cool. What would you say, what's like the movement that you just hope you don't see? That not because you're bad at it, but because it's like a thing that you're like, damn, that's a hard movement that I hate to see.
Probably rope climbs.
Okay,
But that
yes.
is because I'm bad at it.
Okay, no. Okay, I was talking to my friend the other day, and I watched your story where you were doing only arm, guys. She was pulling herself off a rope with only her
Okay, but
hands
I
and
do
her
this
arms.
thing. It's called a kip. I mean, you know what that is. You do CrossFit.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I'm basically using my body to help like propel me up.
So it doesn't count.
It doesn't.
Okay, yeah, no.
It
I
wasn't just like strict. I was like swinging my legs. So
We were on the hike and I was like, "Hey, Alyssa, I can do rope climbs, but I need to wear Solomon's because I need the traction of the bottom of the shoe." And I don't know, maybe I'm being too hard on myself. You might see me lift, and if you're sitting here like, "Shit, I've agreed to do tag games with this person," maybe I'm better than I think I am.
I think
Well,
you are.
okay,
I
thank
think
you.
you are.
At the same time, I watched your story and I was like, "Shit, I need to get her expectations set to do this with me." But I'm so excited. And then you're doing an individual event next year already. Have
Yeah.
you already signed up or you
I haven't
set?
officially signed up yet.
And which one is that? Where do you
That one's gonna be the Idaho event. I
Okay.
think it's in June or July.
Ooh, nice.
Something like that.
Oh, so
So
ours would be a precursor to it then.
yes,
Nice. So like a warm up, perhaps.
sure. I
Yep.
guess we want to call it that.
Yes, I do. Please and thank you. Do you have like a certain amount you want to hit next year? Speaking of resolutions, resolutions,
Yeah.
not revolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a podium. I think that's in my division at least, because I eventually want to get up into the elite division, which
Oh yeah.
those girls, they are so strong, and a lot of them are like really great shooters too. And I'm like, okay, I have my work cut out for me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in the, like I said, the tactical division, which is like the middle division, because you have elite, tactical, and then intermediate.
Amazing.
So I want a podium in the tactical division.
Okay.
So
What keeps you going back? A lot of people like, I don't know, me, I'm like, I just want to get one and I want to be able to like see what it's like, and I'm sure I'll do more. I'm sure I will. But like I can really only see that one that I'm just going to survive. And then, so like what keeps you going?
I just like that it combines the fitness and the shooting. And so it taps into something that nothing else really does. Like USPSA, it's very like that discipline is very different than anything else pretty much. Like in tactical games it's so different, and there's not many things out there like it. I mean, there's a few other, I think, companies that are kind of doing the same thing as tactical games. And I think that's great. I don't have any like personal like experience with them, but it's so different to combine that fitness and shooting and do it in a safe environment. Like tactical games they're very safe on how they handled like the safety rules and everything. And just like I said, like when your heart rate is elevated, it's like it's a different high. Like shooting with that your heart rate and like having to like control yourself, and even when like your grip's going out, like it's just a high. That's all I have to say. It's a high. Yeah.
That's awesome. I like it. I'm sold. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I still need to see if my credits apply from the last one, but at this point it's my bad. I never looked into it. It's been like a year. I can cut my losses at this point. I'd love to pivot a little bit. So we talked about TAC games. I had mentioned wanting to know what it's been like going into USPSA from there, and then I really want to get to concealed carry because
Okay.
again, you really do it all. It's just like an awesome opportunity to really see the full scope of you. And that way when you come on for future episodes, I really want to bring you in for like, I want to pick out a movie and like pick out little scenes, and like we rate like the handling of firearms.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, I just want to deal with you so badly.
Yeah.
So that when we get to that, I can be like, hey guys, come back to this episode and learn who she is. If you don't already know, of course. And yeah, so what has it been like going from TAC games to USPSA?
Yeah, they're so different. And the one frustration I was having with just doing tactical games is I wasn't getting that run and gunning, right? And sometimes we'll have like a 2-gun event. or they'll have like their specific like just shooting aggregates. But I just wanted more of that. Like I want to run and then shoot my gun, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I really wanted to do like something like USPSA because it very much is more like high energy. And it's just shooting, which I think is like I was saying earlier, that was the reason I, at least like postpartum, I was doing so well in that regional event in tactical games. It's because of my shooting. And I feel like compared to the other ladies in tactical games, I do pretty well. I don't want to say I'm like better than everyone because I'm not, but I rank pretty high when it comes to the shooting portion. And so I really wanted to just get better at that and kind of see where I was at and where my skill level was. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And you guys have some awesome we we have some awesome matches around here, which
Yeah.
is so cool. I'm like so thankful for that. Because in Arkansas there were really only like two and there are three here, which is a big difference. Like and Slipsa puts on multiple a month. So
Yeah.
I think
You
if
can,
you
sorry.
no,
I
go
feel like everyone says this like in our area. They're
yeah.
like, you could do a match every single weekend if you wanted to.
That was exactly what I was about to
Yep.
say. Like I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you can. I didn't know that you yeah, that makes sense. I rely on like Lena's text at like 7:59 saying, hurry bitch, we need to sign up now or we're not gonna, squad together. And I'm super thankful for that. But I need to be that person that sets the alarm every Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all right.
I don't know. I really like doing things
You,
on the whim.
yeah. And you end up showing up. So you get signed up somehow. So
I do get
it's
signed
all
up
good.
somehow. Sometimes people sign me up, and I'm like very thankful. Um, yeah, absolutely. I like our local matches. They're really, really cool, and we have the most awesome views out here. Like
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas, it's just like I don't want to, shit on Arkansas. Arkansas is gorgeous. We're the natural state, hills and everything, amazing, Razorback, whatever. But Utah, I mean, you just like literally like turn around, spin, land, and like you've got the mountains. And
Yep.
now we get like ice caps on the mountains, dude. Cold
Yeah. You haven't
matches.
been here in the winter yet.
Wait,
Oh,
one
you have?
time
Okay.
I visited Lena like 2 years ago, and it was
Okay.
I went up. What is that one match? Logan
Okay.
went there, and we had a little charcuterie board. We had some coffee. It was like
Nice.
the like hot foods and like the cheese and the meats was like it was like the coolest thing ever. We just like snacked the whole time. It felt more like I think that's the honestly the best match I've ever shot just because I was so relaxed because my expectations with the snow was so low. It was literally snowing. So I was like I just need to like be able to pull the trigger, keep my hands warm enough for that.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited. I have a little bin of like cold USPSA weather stuff. And so
So you plan to do outdoor matches during the winter?
yes. Yeah, I haven't even thought about indoor, but that makes total sense.
They're not as fun.
Yeah.
I'm just okay. I've only shot one, and it was like our intro to USPSA matches, so I can't really say. But it's hard because you can't get like a lot of like lateral shooting, like
Right.
or I guess horizontal or however you want to say that. But it's very much like kind of just straightforward.
Yeah.
So
Boo.
yeah.
No, we don't need that. We need ice and we need to like freeze our ass. So let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. No, that's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to actually like all squad together. Like we need to just all get together soon. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen, obviously. It's just a matter of when and what we do. There's a card game we'll introduce you to. It's freaking awesome.
Uh-oh.
Called a wash, and it's pretty intense,
Okay.
but there's no slapping because Lena doesn't.
Wait. There's no
There's
slapping.
no slapping. It's
Why
not
do
like
you?
PRS. Wait, what? Tell me.
No, it's just funny that you say there's no slapping.
Oh,
Wait.
oh, I just realized that didn't make any sense.
No, it
Have you
did.
ever played ERS, Egyptian Rat Screw? I think that's
No.
what it's called. So you like, oh my god, ERS is so complex. My point
Wait,
is like,
you can explain it later.
Right.
Yeah.
I just for the listener, so they don't think we actually slap each other in the face. If there's like a sandwich, like 6-7-6 or like 3-2-3,
Okay.
you would slap, and then you either pick up the deck or you like give the deck to the other person. That kind of slapping. like
Okay.
hand slapping.
Yeah.
Okay. I should explain. That makes more sense. That's hilarious. How many people have I said that to, and they didn't have the genuine reaction? You did?
I did assume that's what you meant,
Cool. Oh.
but I just
Okay.
thought it was funny.
Yeah.
The way you said it. So
Right. All right, let's pivot a little bit. I would love to know at what point you got into concealed carry. I've seen some of your carry methods and I love them. I love what you're doing. I've seen the Enigma, I've seen the Vertex bag. Hopefully soon you'll check out my bag and like it. So at what point did you get interested in carrying a gun for self-defense?
yeah. So like I mentioned, I got into guns in like August of 2018 to be exact. And then it probably wasn't like until I'd say 6 months after that is when I really started being interested in concealed carry. And okay, first off, not to like diminish any of the other reasons, but I feel like it was just kind of like the thing to do. Like if you own a gun, you conceal carry, right?
Yeah.
So if you're into guns, you're going to conceal carry. So it was kind of just like the next step, it felt like for me. And I was also like, we were living in an apartment at the time, or yeah, well, I guess I was. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Me and Tanner were living together at that time. But I was like with roommates too, and all females, you know, and just being in an apartment complex, it depends on where you are, right? But I just, not that it was a bad apartment complex, but I just didn't feel the safest, or I just felt like, okay, something could happen. We're with a lot of people, like I don't know my neighbors, I don't know who's here. You never know, right? So that was just kind of like the mindset. And so yeah, I started conceal carrying, and it kind of just, I started posting about it online. And I feel like that's kind of where my channel, or not or my page, it was, I started on Instagram mainly, but that's kind of where the Instagram page started, and kind of just went from there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah, there were, I know some people, there's like they have a specific moment that kind of triggered something in them. For me, it wasn't a specific moment. I did have one instance. It really wasn't anything bad, but I'm like, that's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But that at that point I was already concealed carrying. But yeah, no specific experience. So,
Right.
which is good, right? So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always really sad, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm disappointed in these people who had these traumatic things happen to them, but it is sad to hear that how many times it is the case that a woman has been, and this is just like because I teach a lot of women, you know, men, this happens to men too, of course. I feel like we're both like dancing on, we're like, okay, we're not trying to be exclusive here.
Yeah.
A lot of women have had a traumatic incident, and that is what led them to want to own a firearm, whether it be for the home, concealed carry. And something that's been really on my mind is that women, and this was a discussion I had with Jayleese and Lena. Um, you guys might be listening and you might think like, wow, do you guys just sit around and talk about guns? Yep, pretty much that's it. But it's like a lot of women get into firearms when they are thinking about protecting their families, their daughters, their just their family unit, as opposed to themselves only. And that's like the big motivating force. So it's really those two things I hear the most frequently. I think I've freaked my sisters out enough that they are in the more preventive place, and I'm really glad that they're there. Um, I didn't really have a big incident either. I just knew I couldn't do full combatives after my second nose surgery, and I was like, I need to buy a gun. I gave you my whole spiel. She was like,
Yeah.
how did you get into it? I was like, when I was 13. Actually, no, let's back up to when I was 8. That's when shit really went down. Um,
Is that you or
I
me?
think that's me actually, but I don't know where. I have computers. Wait, is that me? It's me. I'm so
Someone
sorry.
popular.
How? Oh my god, it's the same person 3 times, which is hilarious. That's so funny. Uh, okay, cool. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. You asked, you asked me, and then I was like, I looked at the time when you asked me, and I looked back at the time we were like pulling up to the destination. I was like, I backed up so far because it really, I told you the full story, the true full story.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, I couldn't do full combatives. I was afraid to break my nose again. But I did have some like really scary shit happen where my gun was technically accessible, but I remember thinking, sorry, it keeps vibrating. I kept thinking I can just go grab my gun, but then I would think, what do I do once I grab it? And I was like, oops,
Yeah.
I actually have no idea, and that was pretty terrifying in its own. I'm like double checking that everything's going well because I don't trust myself now. I didn't realize the mic was like here for you. I'm so sorry.
Is it good now? Like,
I think it is. Yeah, it's
okay.
sitting perfectly. This it's also freaking subjective. I don't know what I'm doing, girl. I really want to get some lounge chairs, and I really have you watched what's his name? Who's the mullet guy he's been on
Mullet.
Joe Rogan. He has his but he's like his own Joe Rogan, but he's like kind of
He was on the mullet, but Sean Ryan?
mm-mm.
Like, I don't know.
Oh my god. My ex-husband loved him. And I like pushed back. I was like, no, I was like, I'm not gonna like what my ex-husband liked. And then I started listening to his stuff and I was like, I want to be the gun podcaster equivalent of this guy. Oh my God,
Okay.
what's wrong with me? He's ridiculous. He has a
don't know who
mullet.
that is.
Damn it. What is wrong with me? If you're listening and you know it, sorry, because you're probably just screaming it in the car right now. But oh my God, sorry. I'm gonna send you a clip later and tell you what I'm talking about. But he gets these like recliner chairs and he just kind of sits back and like he just kind of holds the mic and he always looks so cozy. And I want to create an environment like that. And
I love it.
a little studio. Okay, so cool. So what is your like everyday carry setup?
So I carry a Glock 48. It's just iron sights, no dot or anything. So
Jeez.
and it's like a stock Glock, like nothing done to it. And then I typically either carry in my Filster Enigma or now like the Vertex fanny pack.
Mhm.
Those are basically like my go-tos.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. A stock Glock. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that like, is there a reason for that? Is it?
That was the gun. I want to say my husband bought it for me, but I was very much like, I decided on that gun. So it's not like he just bought it for me. Because we went to the gun store, tried a lot of different guns like in the hand and kind of shot them and figured out which one was best for me or which one I felt more comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I did choose that one. And so he ended up buying that for me. And then honestly, I've stuck with that ever since whatever 2018, 2019, probably.
That's beautiful.
And haven't touched it since because I haven't felt the need to.
Yeah.
So I thought about putting a dot on it, but it's also not optic ready. So I'm like,
Sure.
do I want to get that optic ready or do I want to get a different setup, different gun?
Yeah.
So I've thought about it, but I'm like, no, it's good.
Right.
Like, as long as I can train with it, dry fire with it, I'm good.
Hell yeah. And trust me, that wasn't me being like, that's a bad choice. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
A Glock 43X, I didn't get the MOS version either because I was like,
48
I didn't.
is what
Oh, sorry. I was saying that's
yours
what mine
yours.
was. And
Okay.
I had it for so long, like, even though I was checking out the 365 and honestly, had Walter not called me and been like, want a PDPF or like when I became kind of associated with the Rose P365 series, that was the first time I was like, okay. Had I had not had that influence, I'd still be with my 43X. And right now I'm actually about to transition over to the Bodyguard, which
Okay.
like I say that I actually already ordered one. My FFL wrote me and was like, hey, have you gotten your Utah license yet? Because you should go pick this up. And I was like, yes. No, I'm sure I'm joking. John's very patient with me, but I'm actually about to transition to that a little bit and play around with it. I don't know. But there is something to be said about having the same setup over time, like the confidence you can build with that. And also like a red dot on a concealed carry gun is not necessary. Like the chances of you actually utilizing it, especially if you're someone who practices like retention shooting to full presentation, like the 0 to 5 foot range of the fight, arguably you don't need it. You won't even look at your dot kind of thing. So
the only thing I worry about is I don't, because a lot of my focus is on like competition shooting, like USPSA tactical games.
Right.
And what I run in those is a red dot. And so I don't get as much training with the iron sights as I do with the red dot. So that's the only thing I'm like, well, should I just put a dot on it? Because that's what I'm typically using on my like training days.
Right.
So that's the only thing. But I'm like, well, then I guess the answer is just dry fire more, train with my concealed carry gun more.
Sure.
So.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get analysis paralysis with stuff like this. I'm like, there are so many options. I'm just gonna like use what I have.
Yeah.
And I think a small part of me is like, I know you've reviewed so many guns, so it's kind of to me it's cool that you've stuck with that, given you have this array. A lot of people are like, they've only ever touched Glocks, but like you've reviewed quite a few guns over your years and years. Sorry, I like did not mean to age you like that. Sorry, that was weird.
I actually didn't start like the whole long form YouTube stuff until this year, beginning of this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I should have known that before this podcast. Let's
it's
that. Right. I knew that. Yeah. Perfect. No, it's good to know. And where do you hope to take your channel? We've talked a little bit about this amongst ourselves, but is there anything that you're looking forward to doing more of with your reach? Because you've got a great reach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really, like I said, I really enjoy the competition shooting.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people show that, or at least like show the journey, because they'll show like their individual runs and whatnot, which is great.
Yeah.
But I want to show that journey and show like the improvement that you can make, and just like, hey, look, I just started. Like, okay, I may have had experience with firearms, but I wasn't like amazing at this competition shooting stuff, and just show that journey along the way. I think it's the most, like, I guess that's the thing I'm most excited about, is just continuing on that competition journey and bringing more people into competition shooting and showing that firearms is, like, it can just be for fun. You don't need to have it for self-defense, although it's great. I think you should.
Yeah,
But it can also just be for fun.
absolutely.
So I think just doing that and showing that in all my videos, I think is kind of where I'm like gearing towards. Of course, I'll still do other stuff, but that's what I'm most excited for.
I wish I would have had a series like yours when I was starting. And the only reason I
You
got
still
into it,
can.
absolutely. Wait. What do you mean? Wait, I can still watch it? Is that what you mean? I mean, like, obviously.
No. You can still make it. Like, if you want a series, like, you can
I'm
still have
sorry.
a series.
True.
Oh, wait, you mean watch it?
Watch it. Yes.
So, I'm
But
sorry. I'm
no,
sorry.
don't be. But also, thank you. That's very encouraging. I
Like, you do your
shit.
own series. I love
Listen,
it.
but then people, but then I would have to get better. But then I would have to like progress. So
Hey,
not a
but
pressure, Alyssa. I don't. Okay.
but if you don't progress as fast as you think you should, you can also show, like, hey, I haven't been progressing. Like,
Yeah.
we're human, right? And
Yeah.
maybe I haven't been dry firing as much or training as much, and
Yeah.
showing all of that.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be perfect.
True.
So.
But you did see the dry fire targets in my
Yeah,
apartment.
I did.
So
Yep.
obviously I dry fire
Yeah.
every day.
Oh yeah. Every time you walk
Obviously.
down the hall, you know?
Crazy. Yeah. I practically know where they all are too. It's insane. No, but I love that. And I never thought it would be for me. It took Justine Williams actually. She was the one that was like, yeah, you can do it. And I was like, but it's competition. And it's like, nah, dude, like it's you can say you're a competitive shooter and be a D-class shooter, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I sure as shit did, you know what I mean? So I still do at a C-classer. But I really like to put novice in front of USPSA competitor. It just really sweetens it.
Yeah.
All of that to say, I really love what you're doing. It's going to be invaluable, and I love that I could point people to that now. I've one YouTube video where I go into detail on like how to get into USPSA. It breaks down like how to look up practice score basically, and like what to take to your first match. And
Yeah.
don't really feel like I have any like true credibility to really talk about it, other than I just know what I pack to USPSA matches. I know it works for me.
But also, you don't need to be a grandmaster to provide that info. So.
That's a good point. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think as long as we're sharing like safe, things that can be repeated by a viewer that is safe, yeah. God, isn't it scary sometimes? Are you ever like, damn, I really chose the gun industry to start making content?
Yeah.
Besides all the suppression.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't choose like cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We chose something where it's like you never know like what someone is watching your video for. That like honestly I get into my like head sometimes and I'm like, I'm leaving, I'm gonna go back to med school.
Yeah. But it's funny seeing like, sorry, this is kind of a side tangent, but
do it.
I don't know if you've seen those like billboards or signs for the Reptile Expo. I don't think they're up now, but they were up like I think a few months ago, like around Salt Lake. And it's just, Tanner's like, should we join that industry? Like, because there's a whole expo for it, the Reptile Expo. We're like, dude, there's so many, like, it's crazy how many little, like, niche communities there are. And we're like, we could just jump into something and we would be, like, we could dominate that industry, that little niche.
Right.
But we're still gonna, I mean, we already jumped into the firearms, but
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I actually do know what you mean. My sister's a triple doctorate student, opera, music pedagogy, and music education.
Wow.
So sorry, Jade, if I missed one of those. So now I'll know she listens to my podcast because if it was wrong, okay. Anyway, she's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do content. Like, I don't know that anyone wants to see it, and I'm like, you could reach so many people. Like, your stuff will not be suppressed. Like, you should absolutely go for it. I'm trying to get her to do it because, like, especially artists are getting founded so.
Oh yeah.
Not even. I don't want to say easily. I'm sure it's not as easy as that. Sorry, trying not to make a joke about my ex-husband. Cut that out, Sophia. Sorry if I left it in. Moving on. I do think about that too.
Sorry, I like your little like disclaimer, like sorry.
Yeah, no, I doubt he listens, but like his music wasn't found that easy. But I feel like the reptile thing is a good example. Fitness pages, I envy fitness pages so badly because like
yeah. But that's like hard on its own because you have to maintain an image. I mean, most of the time. I mean, people go against that kind of, not, I don't know if stereotype, but it's very different.
Yeah.
And there's definitely challenges that come with each industry, but also I would love to be in a industry where it's not so censored
Absolutely.
and so like inherently political
Yes.
because it doesn't have to be.
Agreed.
So anyway, yeah.
No, agreed. I love that you said that. I try to keep my podcast and page apolitical in the sense that like I have guest speakers that will speak on their political beliefs if they want to. I don't ever initiate it, but they're free to speak. I want everyone to feel welcome, and I want to utilize my platform for education and training and like that inclusivity. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think by proxy we are promoting the Second Amendment rights, which I think is cool, but like it's not my primary initiative. Doesn't seem like it's yours. And I haven't said this, but I love what you're doing specifically to represent women in this industry. And I know the podcast is She Shield. I'm not trying to like make it a weird thing, but it's like you really represent femininity. You do it very with class, and you articulate well, and your heart's just in the right place. There are so few people like you. I think it's insane that I've been here for 6 months and we're just not connecting. I almost like I'm kicking myself over it. I was like, Mom, I made a new friend. She was like, that's awesome. I was like, yeah, I could have made her, I could have been friends with her sooner. But I think it's really lovely that you get to be an example for other women too in the field. And it doesn't feel so lonely knowing you now. So
Exactly.
very
No,
thankful for
exactly.
you.
Because
And
everything you said about me like can be reciprocated towards you.
I
And that's
appreciate
why I'm so like excited to like meet you and like be friends with you.
hell yeah, same
So
to you. Yeah, I for the first time in a long time, I like posted a draw where like it didn't have a tank top on, and I was like, wow, that's so weird for me because I went through. I haven't actually shared this. I don't know if I told you this on our 7 hours together hiking the other day. But I actually kind of my page started out I would say pretty immodestly to my standards. I remember I like posted a picture in a crop top. Crop top? That's a shirt.
yeah, wait, what?
That's a thing.
Yeah,
Crop top.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought I made that up.
Okay.
I'm
No,
getting
yeah, that's
tired.
right.
I'm sorry. You're like, bitch, me too. You're like, I'm being interviewed right now. So, crop top and a picture, a gun. It was like a Glock 19 stock. And a buddy of mine called me and he was like, I'm just curious, what's your goal with this picture? And I was like, I don't know, Vic, what's your goal? He's like, no, but seriously, answer my question, Mike. What's your goal? And I was like, get followers. And he was like, you'll get followers. And I was like, awesome. And he was like, but are they the followers you want? And I was like, that's a good point. Because if they follow me for that and I'm trying to be educational, whatever, um, I took pause with that question. And it took me probably like a year to really figure out what my goal was. Um, and I'm to the point where I'm very conscious of like how I represent myself and my brand, and I've been able to mentor a few ladies. It's rare that I'll have a woman email me or DM me and be like, "Hey, I could really use your direction." But I'm hoping like I can lead by example in that like you really get to make your brand your own, and your page is a really great example of how you've done that as a beautiful woman who is strong and making strides and taking on some of the hardest shit there is to take on with guns. I mean, like, Tactical Games is a great example. And so, anyway, I'm really glad to know you. This is
Thank you.
freaking
No, I appreciate
awesome.
that.
Hell yeah. And I'm looking forward to more episodes together. And yeah, hell yeah. Before we end episodes, by the way, I love to ask guest speakers what they'd like to leave the listeners with. It can be a quote you've read, it can
Oh.
be a movie reference or recommendation.
Oh. Oh man, I should have thought about this.
No, definitely not. It should
Uh,
just be like what your heart points you to.
um, yeah. I guess. Ooh, okay.
Take your time.
Yes. Okay.
We're ready for
So I guess what I want to say is, and this is maybe more serious than
Please.
some other people, but I guess what I want to say is basically if you're trying to provide value, and that could be, in the gun industry, in any industry that you're in or whatever you're doing, if you're trying to provide value, make sure what you're portraying is valuable. I know that sounds so simple,
No.
but exactly like you're talking about with that post, it's like, what's the purpose of it? And if your purpose is to provide a place that is educational, then make it educational. If it's just for fun, that's totally fine. But if your purpose is to bring that value, just just take maybe just an extra second before you post and just ask yourself, is this providing value? Is this going to do more good than bad? So,
absolutely.
yeah.
I really love that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like sharing your journey.
Yeah.
Like posting to share. But if your goal is to be educational, like let's make it good, because we're dealing with tools that can be used very incorrectly. And
For sure.
yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hell yeah. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram it's at the Gunny Gal, and then YouTube, I think it's at Alyssa B. Seymour. But if you just type in Alyssa Seymour, just my name, you'll find me.
Beautiful.
So
even easier, you can scroll down to the show notes, which are the notes below the title, and click on the link I have there for you with all of Alyssa's social platforms. And do you have a website?
I will soon.
And if you're listening to this once she has a website, the website will be there too. Perfect. Awesome. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Freaking awesome. Hell yeah.
I love it.
All right, let's get it.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it.